Yes, people. Welcome to another edition of Fergie Time. Welcome to not all things football, sorry. Welcome to the finished article and welcome to Fergie Time. Quick little episode, just recapping the Man United game that everyone's probably just been watching against Chelsea. Some good points, some bad points, but we'll go through it all. I'm going to bring my boy Shaz on. Boom, here he is, and I'll get the new background on. Boom, there we go. We're live and kicking, people. As I said, we're going to be doing a post-match analysis on the United game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, which finished about an hour ago. Initial thoughts, I thought United were pretty decent compared to previous weeks that we've seen them play. Since Solskjaer's left, the two games that Carrick's been in charge, we've been playing better. Initially, I thought Ronaldo should have played, but he was on the bench, even though he came on in the second half. He didn't do much, so it was probably a good decision. Keep him a bit fresh for the Emirates, not the Emirates, sorry, for Old Trafford on Thursday against Arsenal. What about you, Shaz? What were your initial thoughts on this game, on the lineup, to be fair?
So I was in town when you messaged me the lineup, so I was Manchester with family. It was already freezing as it was, but it was bad enough it was freezing. And then you messaged me the lineup. So as always, your boy Fred and McTominay were in midfield.
With
Obviously,
Matic.
you then had to tell me that Fernandez was up front. I know Fernandez just playing. Yeah, fair enough. Then I
Yeah,
didn't realize
that was
Ronaldo was
mad.
up. So, okay, fair enough. Okay, but kind of
It
mirrors
just
the
gets
minute.
worse and worse, doesn't it, bro? It just gets worse and worse, that lineup.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you
I
one thing though, Lindelof played really well in defence. He
yeah,
didn't really put a foot wrong in defence.
absolutely. I would have, without a shadow of doubt, I have to agree with you there.
The
He
Swedish
played well,
captain.
had a solid game. In fact, it pretty much went how I expected it to. So we got to know him at halftime.
Yeah.
So tactically, he played it well. Sancho's goal, by the way, was top notch.
It,
Sancho
it
for
was
me was
United.
literally
That was a United-esque goal. They always hit
yeah,
people on a
yeah.
counter and score, and
I,
it was a
I gotta
brilliant
say,
goal for
okay,
Sancho.
I know it's a bit random, but I'm gonna put it out there. Chelsea are not all that.
They weren't
Uh,
like these guys are meant to be the top team this season, like who are winning it. You get me? But United came to Stamford Bridge and took a point from them. I think
No, no,
we're the second team to do that this season.
yeah, I think United could have won it. I mean, some Fred's
Hundred
lob
percent.
at
If it
the
weren't for
end.
that penalty, bro, they wouldn't have scored.
Did you see Fred's lob at the end? If it
Oh
was
man,
easy with Fred.
Fred just pissed me off, man. I'm like, Fred, pass the ball, pass the ball, pass the ball.
Sorry, yeah, Karen. Yeah, so Fred obviously dropped the ball, uh, chipped it to the keeper. I thought he could have passed it to Ronaldo. To have a shot would have been epic. But you know what? I can't complain. I thought they set up well, and it's on to positive things with obviously
Mm-hmm.
your boy Ralph Ragnick inbound. Um,
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I don't know what happened there. There's a
yeah,
lot of noise coming in the background, so I had to put my mic on mute for a sec.
no, it's fine.
But as I was saying, Fred pissed me off. Like he had the perfect opportunity to win that game, whether he scored or passed it. He he made the wrong decision. Let's just say that, right? Fred played really well. Like he won the ball back for us. He made some good passes. He got the ball forward, but he's not a scorer, so he should have passed that ball.
And you know the funny thing is, so you saw Rashford and Sancho, right? They
Yeah,
literally left Chelsea's defense with their hands in their pants. Basically,
yeah.
they skinned them.
They left them with
Uh,
the pants down, bro. That's what you
exactly,
wanted to
yeah.
say.
So I'm not disappointed because I thought it's a step in the right direction. One of the things that leads me to believe that it's been things are on the up is because you're now playing to. So what he did was what every manager should do. So you should
Mhm.
have the balls to drop players at certain points because tactically you think, okay, look,
Exactly, bro.
let me soak up the pressure because that
Exactly, bro.
Chelsea were dominant, but let's be honest, Chelsea were wasteful. They didn't make
Definitely.
their dominance count.
Like, did you see Timo Werner's chance?
Oh, bro, I saw.
Raw,
Yeah.
man, that was just mad. It's like, Timo, why do you even play football? Like,
If that was Lukaku, that was going in.
that were going in. If that was anybody else in the Chelsea team, that would have been
That was
in.
going
Now,
in.
if you watched the game, if you watched it, they showed Tuchel's reaction to Timo.
Shaz, I think we lost you again. Sorry, I can't hear you. It seems to
Oh,
have cut
sorry,
out.
is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was just saying Tuchel's reaction to Timo Werner missing was classic. He was like, "Oh, what a
Oh, I
dick."
couldn't believe it. Hilarious.
But the positive from this game is Sancho has scored 2 goals in 2 games now for United. So he's hitting form. He made some good runs forward and he scored a good goal. He got us the lead, but unfortunately we didn't win the game because of Wan-Bissaka's penalty that he gave away. Now, I think it was a harsh penalty because Wan-Bissaka really didn't know Silva was there. And he obviously swung his foot forward and clipped him and took him down. I think it's a very harsh penalty because it was accidental.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I watched it. I'm thinking, what did you give a penalty for? Then I saw Wan-Bissaka, but he didn't mean to do it. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, as I said to you in the WhatsApp message, football's gone soft.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly.
You could get given a penalty for somebody hitting you in the balls and you go
Like I
down.
said to you, bro, you could get a penalty if you sneeze on your opponent and they fall over. That's how bad it is in football these days.
No, that is true. That is true. I mean, for me,
But before we move on, Shaz, there's always one thing we need to get trending. So people get that
okay, yeah,
trending. Get them Yanks out, as Shaz says. Get the Yanks out. Send
yeah,
them packing.
yeah.
Send them
Give me a
home.
second, bro. You carry on. I just need to do something. You carry on.
Yeah, no worries, bro. So yeah, as it says there, Glacier's out. I mean, we've got Solskjaer out now. Let's get Glacier's out. They're the worst. They're the worst owners that United or any team can have right now. Yes, they put money into the club, but they're rinsing the club for so much money. It's unbelievable. Some decisions that they've made going forward after Solskjaer has left look like the right decisions. What I'm talking about there is Ralph Ragnick coming in as the interim manager. It looks like he's coming in and he might be in charge before the Arsenal game. We've got a comment here. Idris, yes, bro. I'm sorry. Ralph Ragnick's coming in. What were your thoughts on this game, Idris? Obviously, you support Chelsea. We support United. So what are your thoughts on this game? On Chelsea's performance, on United's performance, and let me know what you think of Timo Werner. But yeah, Ralph Ragnick coming in to United till the end of the season. And then he's going to be staying on as a consultant advisory role for 2 years following that. I think that's one of the best decisions that the Glaciers have made since they've been at the club. And Ralph Ragnick is going to be part of the process to bring in a new manager after him. Which I think is really good because that means he's going to get someone in that's going to play his type of football, his philosophy of football, which is this philosophy that Tuchel is using and Klopp as well. They've both got their style of football or their style of management from Ralph Ragnick. So he's the daddy and they're the kids. So daddy's coming home now, peeps. So it's time to sit down. Put your dummy back in your mouth, innit? Sit down. Daddy's home, innit? As Tommaso Ciampa says in NXT, daddy's home.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Definitely, man. We've got Idris in the comments. Shaz, I don't know if you can see his comments. He's saying no because obviously Chelsea didn't beat United, which they should have done. With their form, they should have won this game. He's saying we might lose our place to Liverpool or Fraudchester City. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less which three of you those teams are at the top. As long as it's not as long as United are climbing their way up to the top 4, I'm happy with that.
Exactly, bro.
A point is better than 0 points, as I said to one of my mates. Yes, we could have taken 3 points from Chelsea today, and we probably should have done because out of the 2 teams, we were the better team, and we had a bad game. United didn't play amazing football. but we played better football than Chelsea, even though they had more possession. They were very, as you said, Shaz, wasteful with possession and their chances. Like we had 3 chances on target and we scored at 1. They had 13 chances. They didn't even score one. They had to score from a penalty. That's how bad they were.
That's what I mean. We gave them their goal. So literally,
Yeah, exactly. If it weren't for Wan-Bissaka giving that penalty away, this would have been not comfortable. It would have been one of those 1-0 wins that we would, we needed. But like I said, out of this game and the next game against Arsenal, 4 points is what we need. So we're on track to get that as long as we beat Arsenal.
I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't know 100%. If Ragnick will be in charge for Arsenal, but depending on visa work.
Well, from what I've heard, that this was Carrick's last game in charge.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Well,
that's what I've heard anyway. It could change, as you said. There's obviously issues with the visa and stuff like that. So hopefully United get that over the line by Monday, Tuesday. Ragnick gets at least a training session with the squad before. Because I think if he doesn't have a training session with the game, he shouldn't be in charge for the Arsenal game. They should just leave it to Carrick and then let him take over after the Carrick game, the Arsenal game, which I'd be happy with because Carrick's done well. 2 games we haven't lost. We've scored 3 goals in 2 games with him. Villarreal and this game.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Carrick's putting us in the right direction. And like you said before, Carrick's made a tough decision today's game by putting Ronaldo on the bench. Solskjaer never had the balls to do that. But Carrick's come in and put Ronaldo on the bench in one of the biggest games of the season.
For me, I think everything we've been talking about the last 4 or 5 weeks about the fact that you've got to basically pick your best side based on the opposition. So he knows Ronaldo is a world-class player. Yes, Ronaldo didn't have his best game, but okay, fair enough, it's a team game. But what you got to look at is the opposition because Chelsea are dominant at home. But guess what? We nullified that threat today.
100%. That Chelsea side didn't look like a Chelsea side that played good at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, they had really good possession. I think they had more than 60% possession. But with that possession, with their chances, they were very wasteful.
Exactly.
Just give me a minute, Shaz. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah.
Yeah, carry on. I'll carry on for you. But let me bring up the comments here. So we got a comment from Idris, but then your rivals would have been on top and would have boosted their chances of winning Prem because a loss to one of the top favorites could change a lot for you rivals. But yeah, I agree with that, Idris. But for me, it's literally the best way of looking at it is that United came there to play on the counter attack. Which I thought they did quite well. Yes, was it disappointed that it didn't end as a win for either team? Probably, yeah. I would agree with that. I mean, as we mentioned, there were chances that Chelsea could have done to come back into it. But the same with Man United as well. We could have easily nicked it at the end for 1 or 2 decisions. I thought, for me, sometimes you just got to take a risk and take a wild shot because you never know where it might end up. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. We move.
Yeah,
Reese's comment. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, no, I've just seen it. It's I'll just bring it back up. Yes, but then your rivals would have been on top and would have boosted their chances of winning the Prem because a loss to one of the title favourites could change a lot. Yeah, I get that. I mean, if United had won this, would Chelsea have lost their position at the top? What's the table looking like right now? Let me have a quick check. So Chelsea are on 30 points and Man City are on 29. So, yeah, United have put Chelsea under some pressure there because United have given Man City a chance to take them over. If Chelsea lose the game and Man City win it, City got top by 2 points. So it'll be very interesting to see how Chelsea play going forward with the pressure on them now from Man City. And even Liverpool, they're on 28 points, so they're only 2 points behind Chelsea. So they could, I mean, Man City and Liverpool winning and Chelsea losing, Chelsea go third.
I mean, let's be honest, everything that was asked of Michael Carrick when he took over for 2 games, he's done what he needed to do.
Yeah,
He steadied
yes,
the ship. Got the win against Villarreal, which qualified us for the Champions League next stage. Because, like
yeah.
I said, you've still got something to win, uh, and you've still got to aim for it. I know we're out
Yeah.
the Carabao Cup. Premier League is probably a long sight unless we go on and
To be fair, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, I'm not too fussed about if we got knocked out of them because it gives the team a chance to focus on the position in the league and the Champions League.
yeah,
You get what I mean?
and you know what?
I,
This squad is capable of doing some damage in the Champions League. I
bro,
mean,
this squad is capable of winning the Champions
yeah,
League with the right management
yeah.
behind it.
For me, Real Madrid is shit. Barcelona is shit. Liverpool
Yeah.
are playing shit teams. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, Liverpool are
Chelsea
just
and
flying
City
their way
past
through
their
because they're
group.
playing shit
So
teams,
let's
innit?
be honest. It'll come down to one of the English sides, and then what I do is come down to one who has the best game. And if I had to put my hands on anyone, I would put United to beat down any one
Yeah.
of those English sides on the night. But we'll have to see
Exactly,
how
bro.
it goes down.
Exactly.
PSG even beyond. If United get PSG in the next week, I can guarantee. I'm going to say this right now on this thread. I can guarantee you that you really easily beat them because you have the right manager in place. PSG watched them the other day.
It'll be Ronaldo versus Messi again.
It'll be Ronaldo versus Messi, and I can guarantee Ronaldo always comes out on top because
100%. I mean,
Farmers
I
League versus
posted this
Premier League.
on Facebook the other day, right? There was a little post about Messi and Ronaldo. It showed
Yes,
the last 10 games, how many goals they've scored and assists. And I wasn't sharing the post to compare them, right? I was sharing the post just to say Ronaldo has and always will be the GOAT, right? And people are saying, "Oh, well, you're comparing them." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not. I didn't write that post that's comparing them. I shared it just to say Ronaldo's the GOAT." Do you get what I mean?
yeah, no doubt, bro, no doubt.
Like Ronaldo's one goal away from hitting 800 career goals. 800, bro. How many players can say they've scored 800 goals in their career in football? That's just mad. Well, what have we got here from Idris?
I'll answer
Big
this.
problem for United to win Champions League. Chelsea, PSG, Liverpool, City, Bayern, and Juve can give you some major
Okay, so
troubles.
I'll
Okay,
answer that.
hold on, Shaz. I'm gonna break this down for you. Chelsea, we just showed you what we can do to Chelsea today. We nullified your attacking at home. So imagine what we do to you in the Champions League. I go to PSG. PSG are shit, right? They're playing the Farmers League and they've got some of the best players in the world, yes. But when they come up against opponents that are good, and if United play the best football that they can, they will destroy PSG like we've done before. Liverpool, right? They probably can't give us trouble because they're playing really good football now. But if we have Ragnick, who taught Klopp, who's Klopp's daddy, we're probably going to destroy you, right? City, we always play decent against City when we need to. I know the last time we played them, we didn't do too well. So we are going to be looking for revenge and knocking them out of the Champions League. That would be revenge. Bayern, all they've got is Lewandowski. That's all they've got, right? That's the only player that they rely on is Lewandowski. You can't heavily rely on one player. And that showed when United were relying on Bruno Fernandes last season, right? Juve are shit since Ronaldo left, right? So I've run through all them teams, and the only one I can see giving us major problems are probably Liverpool if we play them in the Champions League. I'm going to let you go through all them teams now, Shaz, and you give your thoughts on
Yeah,
each team.
I was about to say Chelsea. Well, Chelsea were irrelevant today. And mind you, Idris, once you bring this comment up, you got to realize we didn't have Varane, you didn't have Maguire, you didn't have
And Ronaldo didn't even start. You have to remember that.
Yeah, Ronaldo didn't start.
Greenwood didn't even play. Van der Beek didn't even
Van de
play.
Beek didn't play. So we're talking about players that normally should play and then a decent manager will play.
Yeah.
So you guys are relevant. PSG, well, let's be honest, PSG are just. I would say if I had to compare Man United and PSG right now, Man United have a lot more hope than PSG because this Farmers League, Liverpool.
I mean, you can win a Farmers League with a shit manager, but you can't win the Premier League with a shit manager, and that showed.
Yeah,
we had still showed this manager for 3 years, in it. So
yeah, Liverpool. Let's be honest. Yes, they are tough, but I don't think they're as tough because Ollie didn't set up right for that game anyway. And it's about being tactically aware. So you got to nullify the threats and do that. City, let's be honest, they're bottle jobs in the Champions League. They can't win it. Bayern, Lewandowski, one-hit wonders. Juve, well, they still can't win the Champions League. They're irrelevant.
Exactly.
Major
So what I'm going to do, Shaz, I'm going to bring Idris's next comment up. I'll let you answer this first.
Okay, go.
So PSG are in the same situation as United. They have the players, but not the manager. I'll let you answer that first.
Well, hang on a second. So you said you got the players, but so you wanted Messi, but you still couldn't.
The thing is, though, sorry to interject here, bro. Right. So the difference here is Ronaldo and Messi were at Real Madrid and Barca, respectively. They were always, they're always going to be against each other because of the way the media is of pitting them against each other, right? Now, towards the end of their career now, like Ronaldo's 36 and Messi's, 34, 35?
Yeah.
He's still a couple of years younger than Ronaldo, right? And the difference is Ronaldo came to the Premier League, which is probably the best league in the world, at the age of 36. And Messi went to PSG, who are in the Farmers League, in League One in France. So there's a big difference in what they've chose to do at this stage in their career, right? And that also shows their ambition. Ronaldo knows he can still hang. Ronaldo knows he can still do what he does best in the Premier League, and that's why he came here to prove it. He doesn't have to prove it because it's Ronaldo and everyone knows how good he is. Messi has got doubt in his mind that, I'm getting old. I'm not going to be able to hack it. So I'm not going to go to the Premier League. I'm going to go to a league where I know I'm probably going to win trophies and still be the best player in that league week in, week out, which is what he's done by going to PSG. So we've got another comment from Idris. Actually, Shaz, you answered this question, this one here that I've just answered, and then we'll go on to his next one.
Well, I think it's really simple. I won't add to what you've had because you covered it quite well, but I'd say you Pochettino over Oli. Well, that's a clear winner. So, I mean, if you can't do it with Pochettino, then God knows what you're going to get out of someone else. Let's be honest, it's Farmers League. Neymar for me is just a showboat. He doesn't want to do it. In fact,
Neymar's actually been given yellow cards for doing too many skills against other players.
Yeah. For me, I would literally say right now, I would literally say hand on heart right now. I think Pogba's gone, so let's leave Pogba, let him go.
Well, we will talk about Pogba later.
Yeah,
we will talk about that situation because it's a very interesting situation now that we've got a new manager coming in, and there's some other developments in that situation that I've heard of, really. So Idris has just mentioned a couple of players here from Bayern. Muller, shit. Manuel, shit. Nabi, shit. Sané, overrated. Goretzka, overrated. Davis, is that Alfonso Davis, decent. Yeah. Upamecano, he's all right. He's still overrated. Kimmich, decent. But yeah, and then we say it's all about Lewandowski. Yeah, it is all about Lewandowski. They rely on him heavily. That's what I mean by it's all about Lewandowski. I'm not saying that they don't have other players that are good. I'm just saying they heavily rely on Lewandowski to score their goals. So we've got, this is not a Messi Ronaldo comparison. This is a PSG United comparison. You can't focus on Messi in whole or Ronaldo in a whole. You need to evaluate the whole team, not Messi Ronaldo. Okay, that's fair enough. PSG as a whole have Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, and they still can't win the Champions League. That's all I'm saying on PSG. They will not win the Champions League with Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. Mbappe and Neymar couldn't win it. How you add Messi to it and expect him to win it? Messi's not as good as he used to be. Messi was only good because of Xavi and Iniesta around him. Since they left Barca, Messi hasn't been the same player. Yes, he's still a good player. He's still a great player, but he's not the best like he was when he had Xavi and Iniesta around him. Manuel is considered as one of the best goalkeepers of all time, and you say he is bad. You're talking about Manuel now, Neuer, aren't you? Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good goalkeeper, but I don't think he's one of the best goalkeepers of all time. Best goalkeeper of all time to me is Gigi Buffon, right? And if you try and tell me anything different, I will just ignore you, because Gigi Buffon has been playing for what 20 odd years in football, and I think he's just recently retired, or he might even still be playing. I don't even know. I'm going to check now, because Buffon has always been one of my favorite players.
Yeah, I think he's still playing. I think he's gone back to Parma.
Yeah, so I've just checked. He's now the captain of Serie B club Parma, which is where he started his career. And the guy's 43 years old. 43. Right? So if you try and tell me that Neuer is better than Buffon, you must be on drugs. Idris is saying Khan. I would say Oliver Kahn. No chance.
Yeah.
He's not better than Buffon. No chance. No chance, Idris. He's not better than Buffon. I don't know I don't know, I don't know how old you are and how much football you've watched from the past, but Oliver Kahn is a good goalkeeper. I'm not saying he's not. He's just not as good as Gigi Buffon. But let's not get off topic and talk about goalkeepers and stuff like that. We've talked about United and Chelsea. We've talked about what we think about the game. Next up, United have got Arsenal. Now, personally, this is one of my favourite fixtures in the Premier League, watching Arsenal and United. Because growing up, the era that we watched Arsenal and United in was Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane. That's the era I remember. And the Dennis Bergkamp and Overmars. You had David Beckham, Paul Scholes, the Nevilles. Do you know what I mean? It was the two of the best teams in the Premier League, always competing against each other.
No doubt, bro. No
And
doubt.
the rivalry was so deep that Roy Keane and Vieira almost beat the shit out of each other. Like, I remember at one point, was it Roy Keane that grabbed Vieira by the neck or something, or the other way around? They always had problems. They always had that passion in this fixture. So it's one of those that I always look forward to. What's this comment? I wish Chelsea faced Arsenal again. Straight up free win for us. I doubt it's a free win, because Arsenal are actually playing all right football. After the way Chelsea played against United, I think Arsenal give you a good game and maybe even take the 3 points. You're very overconfident with Chelsea right now with the way that they just played against United. Don't you reckon, Shaz?
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit of misplaced confidence.
Yeah.
But he's entitled to his view.
No, 100%. He's a Chelsea fan. Like, he's going to be like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's Chelsea fans for you, isn't it? So there's a few little bits that I've read about today, that Real Madrid are no longer interested in signing Pogba.
Yes, I read
and that was his preferred destination. So Pogba is now going to have to reevaluate whether he wants to leave United or sign the contract extension that we've offered him. So, and the other factor in there is that Ragnar's coming as the new manager, or he's coming in soon as the new manager. Now, it's going to be interesting to see whether he's going to say to Pogba, right, you don't want to stay here, go. We don't want that offer that we've given you is off the table now. Go. What's Pogba going to do? What's Pogba going to do if that happens?
Yeah, I was going to say that's an interesting dilemma for Pogba.
It's a very interesting situation.
You know what? In fact, you know what? I think I don't know if you're on the same one as me, but I've read an interesting one, so related to Ralph Ragnick.
Yeah,
so
go for it, bro.
There are reports that Man United believe that Ralph Ragnick's expected arrival at Old Trafford will give them the advantage in the race to sign Norway striker Erling Haaland.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear, Shaz. That's what I like to hear. Right, so there is quite a lot of interesting things with the whole situation with Ragnar. it opens up a lot of other opportunities for United, especially with the fact that he's going to stay on for 2 years after the end of the season as an advisor consultant, because it's going to help the philosophy of football at United, and it's going to help the players. Even if a manager gets sacked, they still have Ragnak as a consistent person that's going to be there. Now, it also means that Ragnak is very high on another manager that a lot of people say should be United's next manager, permanent manager, and the Ajax manager, Ten Hag.
Yes.
So Ragnak is very high on him, and I think he wants Ragnak. Ragnak wants Ten Hag to come in as the permanent manager after the interim period finishes for the rest of the season. So that could be very likely. But from my understanding, the United board themselves, they want Poch as the next permanent manager. Now, I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with that. Because I don't really think Poch is the right fit right now for United. I believe a manager like Ten Hag, who could build a great project with United and take us forward, will be better than someone like Poch, who, in my opinion, probably won't take us forward as a manager. We'd just be stuck in the same situation. I don't think we'd win trophies with him. But that's the main issue I have. The next manager we have has to be able to bring us trophies. Ragnak bringing in Ten Hag would bring us trophies. And another interesting part is Ten Hag is the one that gave Van der Beek his chance in Ajax.
Yeah.
So he's obviously going to come.
I'm not sure what happened with Chaz, but yeah, Ten Hag, yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely one that would like to see.
I brought. Apologies for technical issues there. My laptop just kicked me out of the stream. I don't think it liked what I was talking about. Like I was saying, Ten Hag will probably give Van der Beek more opportunities in the United squad, which is what I want to see. And I think if Pogba sees Ragnak come in, and if Pogba sees that Ten Hag could be the next Man United manager, and this is going to be an interesting project, I want to stick around. It might change his mind that we're moving in the right direction. And who knows, maybe January we sign someone. I don't know who would sign in January. I don't know who would be, who'd be available in the January window to sign. But let's say we sign. Forget January. Let's go to summer. Let's say Pogba wants to stay. He signs an extension, and then we sign another midfielder who can, play next to him. Because what I believe Ragnak is going to do, because he's going to be staying around as well after his interim management period, he's going to stick around, obviously, in this advisor consultory role. I believe he's going to start chopping the dead wood out of the squad. So we're probably going to see Phil Jones leave because he's never going to play in United. I mean, he's not going to play above Lindelof. He's not going to play above Eric Bailly. He's not going to play above Varane or Harry Maguire. So it's time. I think it's time for him to go now. Sell him, or at least send him out on loan. Let him get some games under his belt. Let him get back into the swing of football and maybe get that passion back. And maybe he'll start looking for a club to go to himself. I see Matic might get sold because he didn't have a good game today. Fred, I believe, could get sold if we can get someone to replace him and play that role. If not, unfortunately, Fred will stay until we can replace him. I think McTominay's time in the first team is up because he's not as good as people say he is. He don't get me wrong, he's a decent player and he plays well, but he's got a lot to learn, and he's got a lot of things that he needs to work on. And I think his time in the first team might be up if Ragnak and other people come in that believe that as well, which means that we are going to have to bring in other midfielders. So yeah, that's my take on it so far. I'd love to see Ragnak come in and sell all these players, fringe players that we don't even need. Use that money, invest it in, players. So like we've talked about this quite a lot, Shaz. Alex Tellers coming in and kicking Luke Shaw up the ass and making him play better for that position. And also, we need that on the right back with Wan-Bissaka. Big up, Ryan. Big up, Ryan, bro. Appreciate you tuning in. And cheers for the favour today, United. Anytime, bro. Anytime. Oh, shit. I missed a comment here from Idris. Sorry, Idris. Idris has said, you're basing Chelsea off one game. That doesn't make sense. I'm not basing what I'm talking about on Chelsea on one game. I'm basing it on what I've seen from Chelsea this season. Yes, they've had some great performances, but it didn't. The quality didn't show today against United.
Exactly.
And it's happened in other games as well, where they've not had that quality, but they have won those games. They've gone ahead and won those games, but they've not had the quality. Like today, they didn't have the quality, and it showed because they couldn't score a goal to save their life. The only reason they scored was a penalty that United gave them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But what about you, Shaz? What do you think of the whole Ragnak situation and then a permanent manager after?
Well, I think it definitely needs a bit of stability. Ragnak coming in for me just brings a bit more discipline into the way United are going to set up. We saw a bit of that from Carrick today, which gives me hope for what Ragnak will do. But obviously, it's a long way to go. I think, like you said, we've actually got a squad that can challenge for honours. So, in a funny way, Ragnar could probably add one or two players, not sure who, but like midfield or defensively, we could use a bit of cover for Varane. But I think it will also influence big name stars to join. For me, Pogba, like you said, he needs to either decide if he's going to sign an extension because his first choice move is obviously not materialized. But and if he's going to stay, I want to see a change of attitude from him because this coasting, like the first 2-3 games, he was on fire. But since then, we haven't really seen him deliver.
Who are you talking about here? Sorry, Shaz.
Pogba, sorry, Pogba.
Sorry, Pogba. Right. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Martial because the same could be said for him.
Pogba. So Ragnek will obviously instill some discipline and say, "Look, this is how I want you to play." But I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on. I think he'll, in terms of his philosophy, I know people might complain that he's not Klopp or Tuchel, but he taught
he's their dad.
Yeah, exactly. He taught his butcher how to go and play the game. So
he told the butcher how to play, and now he's coming to the same league to show him how it's done. Really,
Abu's coming home, and he's basically going to bring that philosophy. You know what? It's good for United because since Fergie left, we haven't really had a style. So what he's going to do is instill something that's been missing. And in terms of him doing the consultancy role, just to tie it all up, even with a new manager, Ten Hag, that you brought up, they basically share sort of similar mindsets. So literally, you can say, "Look, I'm gonna come here. These are the players I want." Now, guess what? Ragnek is coming from Germany, which works well for Sancho because it brings out Sancho's personality. Ronaldo will always play because Ronaldo is the world class talent he is. Fernandez will get more use of his talent, and then basically you're not picking players. Well, guess what? The McFred bonanza can end because, as Shaz has said, we just don't need to see it because we have world class talent like Donny van der Beek to cover it. And once Varane's back, well, that's just curtains for everybody else because he's not really had a consistent run. He's had injuries.
Exactly, he's had injuries. Yeah, you're right.
If Varane was playing today, I doubt Chelsea would have got their goal.
100%. 100% on that.
Wan-Bissaka was in the position that Maguire or Varane would have been in. So kind of tells you the story, the fact that it was just a bit of a misfortune, but hey, you know what? We'll take it on and we'll learn from it.
So I'm just reading a bit of news at the moment. So there's news that Ralph Ragnak is interested in. Well, he's targeted Amadou Hadera as the first Man United signing.
Yes.
And he's from RP Leipzig. Now let's have a look. Sorry, bro. I'm just reading this article.
No, that's fine.
So he actually brought him to the Bundesliga in 2019. So he was the one that brought him there. Now, this player only has a £33 million release clause in his contract at Leipzig. Now, Newcastle were interested in him, but because it was 33 million, they weren't interested in him. That's quite weird.
Mm-hmm.
So this player, Hadera, was brought in by Ragnak to replace Naby Keita, who joined Liverpool in 2019. So that's pretty interesting. So as for Pogba, Juve and PSG have previously been interested in signing him, but neither have expressed their intent with just over a month until pre-contract agreement talks can go ahead. He's currently out of the United team with a thigh injury that he suffered on international duty with France. So it's pretty interesting that, because there's teams that have been interested in Pogba, but they're not anymore. So does that mean he's just going to stick around at United because he can't go anywhere else?
Yeah,
it's crazy. So as you mentioned, Chaz, United have received a boost in signing Erling Haaland with Ragnak's arrival at United. I think they know each other from somewhere. I'm just going to try and find why. So let's have a look. So I'm just going to go through a few little bits here. So PSG are open to releasing Poch so he can go to United. PSG are open to talks with United in the summer, so not now, in the summer, for the release of Poch, despite the club's bumper signing of Ralph Ragnak as interim manager and a 2-year consultancy job after. United will want to quickly turn their attention to a full-time manager that will open up in the summer. So that's quite interesting that they've changed their tune on it. So yeah, everywhere I'm reading is that Ralph Ragnak wants to be reunited with RP Leipzig's Amadou Hadera, the 23-year-old midfielder. So the kid the 23-year-old has a dream of playing at the Theatre of Dreams at Old Trafford. So it works out pretty well. Let's have a look. So I don't know if you know this, Shaz, but Ragnak signed Haaland to RP Salzburg from Molde in 2019 when he was a sporting director. So yeah, he's obviously worked with him on negotiations before, which is why it's likely Haaland will want to stay and obviously sign with someone that he knows. Another player that is interested in bringing to United is Karim Adeyemi. So he's RP Salzburg forward. So he's basically the player that they use now instead of Haaland since he's left. That's interesting. Interesting player. Some young players that he wants to bring over. And another player he wants to bring with him is Dani Olmo.
Yes.
He's playing for Red Bull's flagship European club, Leipzig. He came through at Barcelona's academy. He left in 2014 and joined Dynamo Zagreb. And then obviously he's at RP Leipzig now. Decent. So there's 3 players that he could be bringing with him because he signed them to the RP Leipzig or Salzburg clubs.
Yeah.
I'm just reading through a few different things here. It looks like Ragnak is struggling to assemble a coaching team. I think that's what's holding him back from signing. there's suggestions and reports that he's going to be joined in the dugout by Lars Kornetka. He's the management advisor at Moscow, Lokomotiv Moscow. He worked with Ragnak as a video analysis in Hoffmann, RP Leipzig, and Schalke, as well as with Pep at Bayern Munich. Yeah, everywhere I'm reading though, bro, United are interested in Erik ten Hag. That's everywhere I'm reading.
Yeah, it seems that that's the long-term plan.
Yeah.
I know I need to jump off and grab some food, but just want to end with one bit that I think Ten Hag for me currently right now should be the one that they pursue, not Pochettino, because Pochettino is
100%.
currently struggling at PSG. And if he's struggling at PSG, let's be honest, we don't really need anyone to struggle right now because we've had enough struggles for about 5 years or well, actually longer. Let me rephrase that. We've been struggling since 2013, so we need to end that.
No, definitely, bro. I mean, there's also another player that United are apparently interested in. Barcelona player Frankie de Jong. I've not heard of that before. This is the first time I've heard of this.
Good player. I've never heard of
Barca have put a 70 million euro price tag on him.
That's cheap.
I don't think he's worth that much. I don't even think he's that good of a player to be worth 70 million. But he is a good holding midfielder, don't get me wrong. But I don't think he's worth 70 million. Just like I don't think Harry Maguire was worth 80 million.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean, Shaz? So before we head off, Shaz, what are your predictions for the Arsenal game on Thursday?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Man United. So I'm actually gonna put my neck on the line.
Okay, cool.
Man United
I'm actually gonna call it more closely. I think it's gonna be 3-2 to United, obviously.
Okay.
So I think Arsenal have got enough in them to score against United, but not to win. So obviously, I could be wrong. Arsenal might not even score, but I've got a feeling that they will. I think Saka and Smith Rowe will score for them against United. I've got a feeling Ronaldo, Sancho, and Rashford will score for United.
Oh, that's not bad. Good set.
So that's my prediction for goal scorers in that game. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone tuning in. I appreciate the love and support. I'm going to leave it over to this guy over here before we head off, just to wrap things up.
So I'm going to end it very simple. You can see our awesome socials below. Finished article, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also find our Twitter handles below. Let's bring them up.
I'll bring them up, bro.
Oh, nice one, bro. So if you need to reach out to us on our Twitter handles below.
There they are.
Yeah, you can see them below in red. So if you ever want to jump on, want to cover a show with us, want to let us know where you want to go forward. But yeah, great show. Thanks very much for tuning in. We will be back with more content over the course of this week. Without your support, we wouldn't be where we are today. But that's a wrap from me and Shaz. Until then, have a good evening and we'll see you soon.
Peace out, peeps.